This place is the most remote permanently inhabited settlement on Earth, located in the middle of the South Atlantic Ocean, Tristan da Cunha. The nearest settlement is another island 2,334 kilometers away, while the closest continental city is approximately 2,778 kilometers to the east. And to the west, the nearest place is Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. After hearing these facts, I'm sure you are amazed by this island. This island is one of the territories belonging to the United Kingdom, grouped together with St. Helena and Ascension Island. Although all of them are isolated from the world, Tristan da Cunha is the most distant point from civilization. It is so remote that, for example, if you want to travel there from Turkey, you must first go to Cape Town in South Africa. If there is availability, you can then board one of the cargo ships that depart only 8 to 10 times a year. And if you are lucky, after a journey of at least 6 days, you can finally reach the island. It is also possible to reach the island by sailing boats, but this would be a much longer, more dangerous and exhausting journey. Since there is no airport on the island, sea travel is the only means of transportation. And here it is, Tristan da Cunha Island in all its magnificence. This is the most remote place on Earth with permanent human habitation. When you step onto the island, you are greeted by a sign that reads, "Welcome to the most remote island." The capital of the island is Edinburgh of the Seven Seas, and the official language is English. However, over time, the English spoken here has evolved into a unique dialect, due to the islanders' limited communication with the outside world. According to the latest census, the total population of the island is 249 people. These people live in a village called Edinburgh, located in the northern part of the island. The families living in the village are descendants of the first settlers and the survivors among the current residents. On the island, there is a hospital, a post office, a museum, a church, a research institute, a golf course, a bakery, a bar, and a swimming pool. There is also a police station with only one police officer. Since the crime rate is extremely low, a single officer is enough to maintain order across the entire island. There is also a school on the island. Education is generally provided through cooperation between teachers and parents. The school offers education for children of all age groups, but since the number of students is low, children of different ages are sometimes taught together. About 200 years ago, this island was completely uninhabited. The first discovery of the island took place in 1506, when a captain named Tristan da Cunha encountered this volcanic island during a sea voyage in the South Atlantic. However, due to harsh weather conditions and strong waves, he was unable to land on the island. Nevertheless, he named the island after himself. Over time, the name Tristan evolved into Tristan. In the 1600s, the island was used as a stopover point for whalers and merchant ships, but no permanent settlement was established. That changed in the 1800s, when Britain officially annexed the island to prevent the French from using it strategically during the Napoleonic Wars. A group of soldiers and some civilian settlers were placed on the island under suitable conditions. However, most of them left shortly afterward, except for one man, William Glass. William Glass, an English soldier, convinced his family to stay, and they began living there. Perhaps he did this to avoid experiencing war again or to protect his family from loss. Over time, more people settled on the island, and today, the descendants of those first settlers still live there. Some regions of the island are geographically extremely isolated, and crossing certain boundaries is nearly impossible. One of the most beautiful aspects of the island is its complete safety. Everyone on the island knows one another, and they do not accept strangers from the outside. The island's oldest resident has spent his entire life there. What's it like living in such a small community? It's a nice life. Everyone here, we call them brothers and sisters. We're a big family. We share everything. If anyone gets into trouble, you go to their house. They are there to help you. You can let children go anywhere. We leave our doors open. The main sources of livelihood for the people of Tristan da Cunha are fishing and potato farming, in which they have become true experts. The people are completely helpful and kind. They also raise livestock, but since resources are limited, animals are treated with great care. The marine life surrounding the island is extraordinarily beautiful, especially the kelp forests, which look absolutely magnificent. Every aspect of this island is enchanting. However, it has one major flaw: the volcano. The island is about 1 million years old and is entirely volcanic in origin. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, molten rock, magma, erupted through the Earth's crust and rose through the ocean. Over time, the lava cooled, forming this island that rises nearly 2 kilometers high and would later become home to humans. Although Tristan da Cunha is isolated from the world, it is not alone in its region. Just west of the island are 2 more islands, Inaccessible Island and Nightingale Island. Living on these islands is impossible. Inaccessible Island is filled with steep cliffs and is extremely dangerous. While it is inaccessible to humans, it is a paradise for birds, seals, and penguins. Nearby Nightingale Island, on the other hand, is occasionally visited by the people of Tristan da Cunha for fishing and hunting purposes. The people of Tristan da Cunha live a quiet and peaceful life. However, one day years ago, everything was about to change. On October 10th, 1961, the islanders woke up to a terrible surprise. The volcanic structure of the island had become active. Smoke began to rise, and shortly afterward, the volcano erupted with full force. Lava almost completely destroyed the village. Even today, traces of this eruption can still be seen on the island. After the 1961 volcanic eruption, the islanders were first taken to Nightingale Island, using local fishing boats. From there, they were transported to England. About 2 years later, many of them returned to the island. There was clearly something drawing them back. Otherwise, who would choose to spend their life on an island in the middle of nowhere with such limited opportunities? I believe this is something that can never truly be understood without living there. Another interesting feature of the island is that money is rarely used. Except for special cases, such as tourists buying souvenirs, daily life is based on barter. In a way, the islanders still use a system humanity discovered centuries ago, and in my opinion, they are doing it in the best possible way. If you want to move to the island and settle there, that is impossible. Immigration is strictly controlled. Unless you have family ties with people living in the village, you are not allowed to settle on the island. This is also one of the reasons why the island remains so peaceful and safe. However, there is one exception: coming to work. Even then, you must stay for at least 2 years, and only if there are job openings on the island. Neither pandemics nor world wars ever reach this place. Economic crises mean nothing to them. Perhaps this is the beauty of being isolated from the world. And maybe this is one of the reasons they chose to live here. Despite being so far from the world, Tristan da Cunha tells a unique story of how a community can survive through solidarity and harmony with nature. We assume they live in loneliness at the most isolated place on earth, but perhaps the truly lonely ones are us, living outside this island, surrounded by chaos and crowds.